And I'm delighted to say Enda Lynch and Daire McCormack are with us in their Munster tracksuits. Good morning to you both. How are you getting on?
Morning, Ger.
Good, thank you.
And explain to us exactly why you're here. So Munster have launched an esports franchise. How do you refer to it? Is it?
It's part of Munster Rugby. It's an extension of Munster Rugby. So, you know, yes, it is a franchise, and we have 2 titles in the franchise. Esports is very popular, as is gaming, and you know, pretty much everybody in the audience knows somebody somewhere along the line that is a gamer, spends hours watching or playing. Esports is multiple titles. We're in 2 of them. It's a bit like, you know, Olympics, where there's a variety of different titles. We're in League of Legends, and with Daire then and Williams Racing, we're in sim racing, and having good fun. But it's early stages yet. It's a long journey.
Daire, what's sim racing?
Sim racing is basically real life racing on a game. So I have a wheel and pedals in front of me,
right,
a seat, and I sit in, and it's like driving a real car.
And what car is? What is it? Formula One?
No, I do GT racing. So it's like they're expensive expensive road cars.
Okay.
Luxurious cars turned into race cars.
Okay.
Basically, that's what they are.
Right. And what's that like? So you're actually like steering the wheel?
Yeah.
Okay,
like a genuine wheel with pedals, and you know, they're proper expensive equipment supplied by teams. You know.
Okay.
It's a big industry, though.
So the involvement of Williams, I did a thing, Web Summit a couple of years ago with Williams, and the guy brought the Formula One steering wheel. It was like a remarkable piece of equipment. Yeah. It has like a gazillion buttons. But they pride themselves on innovation, and like cooling systems for fridges is something, one of their little sidelines that they have going on. So obviously esports is something like that too. What do they like to work with?
Williams is amazing. I get to go to, you know, real life races, and get to go to the factory and meet people I genuinely wouldn't, and get to have opportunities to do stuff like that, and go see F1 cars, and be a part of a team that will help me through what I need to, and help me with the setup of the car and all that. It's just like, it's amazing. So
when you say help you with the setup of the car, that's part of the game, is it? You can't just be a good driver. You need to know exactly how to give yourself as much of an advantage before the race starts as you possibly can during the actual race. Yeah, that's just, it's worth just as much as the race. So you need to really nail the setup of the car, otherwise you'll be in the mid-pack or the back of the field. So having those engineers around you and teammates that know what you like and what they like, when you all work together, you know, really helps to boost your performance. How many people are in a race? It depends on the grid, but I'd say generally about 40 to 50. Right, okay, so busy. Big grid, yeah, big grid. And how competitive is that then? Is it, exactly the same, so over a full season? How does it work? So the series that I'm in, SRO Sprint, I'm also in endurance, but in Sprint I'm with Munster. And it's a 50-car grid, generally. Of course, there'll be a few dropouts. But yeah, you need to score points, so the top 15 score points, and first place is 34 points, 15th is 1 point. You can also get a point for pole position. So it's, you know, you need to win in order to do well. Like, and how many races in a season? 5 races in this season. Right, okay, so it is a bit of a sprint as well. And how many laps in the sprint? Well, it's 60 minutes, right, so okay. Depending on the track, it can be around 28 to maybe 32, 35, so yeah. How did you get into this, actually? How did I get into this? Yeah, and how long ago? Jesus, I got into it, I'd say 3 with my dad, but I really started focusing on it in early 2019. I thought I could go professional with it, and this is where it's led me to, so yeah, quite a quick progression rate, so it was it was crazy. That is mad. You've just done your leaving cert? Yeah. Yeah, I just finished it, right. Maybe 2 weeks ago. All right, how'd it go? Decent. not as good as I'd hope. We'll see. Sure, look. And so, what's the plan? Like, what happens? Are you going to be a professional gamer for the next period of time? Yeah, I'm going to focus on this and work with Enda and Williams to really try and make this my career. And right now it is. So, yeah, I'm going to focus on, you know, keep building on it, and maybe get into real life racing in the future. But that's the thing, yeah. So is that the logical thing? Yeah, if I could get into real life GT racing, you know, there's an example of it, James Baldwin. He's been in sim racing for years, and he's done a series in the real life version of what I do. So if I could do that at some point, that'd be incredible. But
I think Daire's being a little modest. James Baldwin is 5 points behind him in the league at the moment. So, you know, he's at that talent. He's at that level.
When did you realise, Daire, that you had that? Like, was it when you were 16 or?
It was when I was about 14, early 2019. I went into a 24-hour race and we qualified P2 and we nearly won in the top split so I was surprised that I could even keep up with the guys. I didn't think I could, but yeah, from there I just focused on building myself and just working with people to figure out what to do. And once I knew what to do, I just went on my own and then found Williams and found Munster. And
the buzz must be insane, like.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, when I won the first race of the series, I felt like crying, to be honest. Like, it was unbelievable. Beating the calibre of driver in there is like, it's unbelievable. There's a 1/10 of a second separates us in the race, and qualifying it can be hundredths of a second.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the top 20 was separated by a 1/4 of a second in qualifying.
I guess, like, because this must be so, like, all-encompassing, it must be hard to even switch off, like, a normal life to do your leaving cert.
Yeah, it is very hard. Trying to focus on both of them was a proper challenge, but I think I got the best of both worlds in the end, so I'm happy.
And so, during COVID, obviously everything was remote. Does this happen at some point where everybody's in the same room, or is it always going to be remote? How does it work?
Yeah, they're called LAN events. So basically, you can go to wherever it's hosted, and that'll be part of the series. So there's the ADAC GT Masters that'll be in Germany, and it was hosted at the Nürburgring, in the big centre. So I think it's called the Sim Expo. So I think it'll be in Germany again this year. And there'll be all the guys that I know through there, and there'll be sim rigs everywhere. So yeah, it's really cool, especially meeting everybody is a great experience.
Yeah, that must be interesting. It's like everything was so virtual, and like, you know, here you are, you see a face, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why did Munster get involved in this? What's
look, it's for us, it's a wider audience. I think it's no secret that while TV audiences are very healthy for sport, they're slightly older. So, you know, people mid-teens to late 20s consume sport very differently, short bursts, social channels primarily. But they're consuming more esports than they're consuming traditional sports. And
more esports than traditional sports in that bracket?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll consume up to... An avid esports fan will consume about 8.5 hours of esports a week, and that's not where they're gaming. It's where they're watching other teams play, and they might consume about an hour of sport a week. And that's across the UK and Ireland based on research done in early 2021. And it was not pandemic related, if you know what I mean. And look, for us then, it's an opportunity to expand our commercial opportunities, our brand. Does it mean there's going to be rugby players coming out of this? No, but it allows us to expand how we commercially help the overall club. So the purpose of gaming isn't to drain from rugby, and it has no commercial ties into the rugby. It's just to help support and bring, you know, commercial values and commercial revenues back in the long term. It's going to take a long time, but there are teams like Schalke 4 and Hertha Berlin, Barcelona, a number of the US teams. Pretty much all the Premiership teams now have their own sport, FIFA or NBA 2K, but some outliers like ourselves are getting to League of Legends, which is the biggest esport in the world. And by biggest, I mean the World Finals were held last December, and there was 120 million live audience.
You know, I've always made the point, Ger, that like the first time you're on a bus and the first time in your life that somebody offers you a seat because they think you look a little bit old. This is one of the first times in my life where I actually feel old. I'm like, this has totally passed me by, like. And I loved, like, computer games when I was younger. This is complete, like, this is new to me. Yeah. It's mad. It's
and
like,
I had to go through that initiation myself. I was like you, I loved computer games when I was young. Name all the consoles, I had them. But when we started doing research and realised that there's opportunities and other sports clubs were doing this, you know, there was a real deep dive, and it made me feel very old very quickly. But having said that, there are people who are, like, I'm in my early 40s, there are people 40s and 50s who are still avid gamers and who continue on. Sim racing, people like Lawrence and the guys, you know, huge audiences. Daire's races, regularly, but it tracked up to 30,000 views in the first 24 hours.
How do you watch it?
YouTube. They have a live YouTube channel for all the GT sprint and endurance racing. So Daire represents us in sprint, and then Tarek Gamal from Donegal represents us in endurance racing, which is 24-hour or 12-hour racing, and it's all on YouTube.
So say like 30,000 are watching you. How is that spread geographically then? Like, are they mainly Irish people or?
Primarily European, Irish and European. But this is a wider audience. This is not just Ireland.
And that's only going to grow as well.
Yeah.
How did the partnership with Williams come about?
We were in League of Legends and we were looking to expand into a second title. And we worked very closely with an agency called Epic Global, co-owned and founded by a guy called Trev Keane, who is one of the doyens of esports in Europe. And Trev had spoken with Williams. They were looking to establish relationships with other sports organisations. He put the two of us in contact, and very luckily, we had been chatting with Corey's at the time. They sell sim rigs. They wanted to build a wider awareness of their offering for the racing community. And they said, yeah, we'll come on board. So again, you know, not drawing on our own resources, Corey's made our entry into this possible through Williams. So it was a win-win-win for all three parties.
You've done the live events before, obviously. What are they like?
I actually haven't.
Right, okay, so you're dying. That's very exciting then. Yeah.
The only thing that I've actually been to is the Williams facility,
right.
the esports facility. It's actually tied in with the whole Williams racing place. It's in the same complex.
Is it Silverstone, is it? Or somewhere very close to it? Or is it Brands Hatch? It's near one of the tracks anyway.
I think it's in between them.
Right.
It's in Oxford.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's near enough. But, yeah, like they have 20 rigs in one room, and then the back room, they have another 20.
Right.
So they can host, like, whole events in their own facility. And, yeah, I think I'll be doing a few in the future with them. So, yeah, I mean, I love going there. It's amazing.
Are you getting recognised? Are people coming up to you and going, "Oh, I've watched your races"?
I did go to Paul Ricard recently. It's a racetrack in France for the real life GT race, and I had to coach the real life drivers to do what I do, basically. And yeah, I got recognised by a few people. It was a bit surreal, but yeah, it was an interesting experience.
You to coach the real life drivers.
Yeah,
that's class.
So that must be like, so you're doing your leaving cert, and then you were coaching real life drivers how to actually
drive a car virtually.
Yeah.
Did you carry that with confidence and say, yes, listen to me?
So the guys I was actually coaching, they had done it before, so that was handy enough.
That was a help.
Yeah. So I mean, jumping between the two of them, they said there's not too much dissimilar, but there's some differences, of course.
And when are they going to let you in a car?
Oh, I think that's an impossible thing to ask, but if I could, I would, for sure.
Well, you've got to speak it into existence, put it out there, and tell the world this is what you want, and it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That pathway is going to become more and more normal, I presume, like that.
Yeah, I think sim racing will really become like a proper entrance to real life racing soon. So, I mean, we already have one case where he made it, and yeah, he's Baldwin's actually doing Spa 24 hours at the end of this month.
Right.
So yeah, big race.
And how? So like, say if there's like contacts and stuff in your race, like how is that simulated in terms of your actual, like, or crashes or whatever? Stupid question. I sound like 50 here. I'm 39.
We won't talk about that.
Do you crash or like what? Yeah. So what does that feel like? Is it like vibrations or what?
Yeah. No, there's proper vibrations in the wheel. Like you've crashed for sure.
This is a point though. He's not in a car. Like, so it's this is the transition you have to make.
Some of these games where like it's a driving game. If you crash, you crash.
So I played the Mega Drive, and then sort of in college I didn't do anything, and then I went back and it was like the PlayStation, and I was so bad at it I just kind of gave up. So that was about 20 years ago. So yeah, so when you crash, you crash.
Yes.
But like when you get in a car, then it's like, I guess that's the next step in the ladder. Like, but this is real. Like,
yeah,
this is like slightly dangerous.
Yeah, like if you crash in the game, you do get like minutes of damage that you have to repair. Obviously, you're not going to feel the G-force of the impact, but yeah, I mean, if you get into a real car and crash, that'll be a proper wake-up call. So what gives you the most thrill in a race? The most thrill is just chasing down people and trying to be the best, basically. Just the drive to win.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so what's next, Daire?
What's next is SRO Endurance, I believe, with Williams, and then sprint at the start of August.
Right.
With Munster. So
how do you get better? How do you train? Like, it's just hours spent.
Yeah, basically
perfecting.
just perfecting my craft and perfecting the setup for the car. So yeah, I mean, I'll have to start prepping for August soon. Make sure I have everything ready, because last round of the championship sprint, and currently in the points lead, only by 5 over Baldwin. So yeah, it's going to be tough.
What do your mates think of this?
Sorry?
What do your mates think of this, like your schoolmates?
Are
you like the national or the class hero?
Towards the end of 6th year I was, because people started knowing what I'm doing for a job. So I was quite quiet about it. I just kind of kept it to myself, because I didn't know if it would end up being a big thing or not. Like if I'd really make it or, you know, flop. So
just 30,000 watching my race there.
There you go, exactly. And so, Enda, from your perspective, what's next?
Look, short term, as Daire said, it's his final in August. We have the League of Legends guys who are playing in the Nordic League, which is the best Nordic UK and Ireland. They're in Division 2, and we topped the league in spring. We're currently 4th in the summer, and we're going to try and get into Division 1. And Division 1 in League of Legends in the Nordic region it's a chunky affair, and you know, will be in terms of financing and all that will be worked on through the winter to make sure that we can start growing a bit further.
Well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck with it. Daire, best of luck over the course of the summer, and enjoy the live events. And Enda, it's a really interesting expansion of the Munster franchise, so we wish you all the best.
Thank you both very much.